You planned for this, so why does it feel so heavy? And now retirement is finally here. You spent 40 years being needed. Then one day, you weren't. No meeting, no deadline, just silence. They throw you a party and say, enjoy it, yet nobody tells you about the silence. They tell you about the freedom, the travel, the slow mornings. But nobody warns you that the hardest part of retirement isn't the boredom. It's waking up one morning and realizing for the first time in 40 years, nobody needs you to show up today. If you are sitting in the quiet of a morning that used to be full and something inside you feels emptier than you ever expected, I want you to know something. You are not losing your mind, and you are absolutely not alone. What I'm about to share as a behavioral scientist for 30 years might be the most important thing you will hear in all your 60 years of living. Here's what the research actually shows. 43% of adults in America over the age of 60 feel lonely on a regular basis. Loneliness scores peak 1 year after retirement, not before it. Emotional loneliness, particularly feelings of isolation, rises sharply in that first year, right when you were supposed to be the happiest. There is a reason this is happening to you. It is not a personal failure. It is not weakness. And today, we are going to talk about exactly why retirement loneliness happens and what actually helps. Stay with me.
For most of us, work was never just a paycheck. It was a reason to get up in the morning. It told you where to be, what to do, and most importantly, that you are needed somewhere today. After decades of being indispensable at work, retirement's loneliness stems not from empty calendars, but from the realization that nobody needs you to show up anymore. Think about that for a moment. For 30, 40, sometimes 50 years, your value was confirmed every single day. Someone needed your answer, your experience, your presence. And then one day, it stopped. Work was a big part of who you were. Retirement can lead to a sense of loss, not just of income or status, but of personal direction. This loss often comes with feelings of sadness, anxiety, or even grief. That grief is real. It deserves to be treated like a real loss. 2. Your social circle was smaller than you realized. Here is something nobody tells you before you retire. Most of your friendships lived at work. The Monday morning conversations, the team lunches, the person in the next office who always asked how your weekend was. They weren't just coworkers, they were your daily human connection. And when you retired, most of them stayed behind. Retiring can drastically shrink your social circle and make it harder to meet others. When it becomes difficult to maintain old friendships or find new ones, feelings of isolation and loneliness follow. This is not your fault. You did nothing wrong. The structure that naturally brought people into your life simply disappeared overnight. And making new friends in your 60s is said to be one of the most difficult things to do. By the end of this video, I will give you 5 practical steps to making friends in your 60s. The last one is the most effective. 3. The days have no shape, and that changes everything. This is the one most people never see coming. You thought you would love the freedom, and maybe for the first few weeks you did. But here is what I have found out as a behavioral scientist. Once people retire, that newfound freedom is rewarding for a while, but then many people begin to feel somewhat lost. They soon realize that the schedules, deadlines, and commitments they couldn't wait to escape actually anchored them and gave them a sense of purpose. Human beings do not actually thrive in total freedom. We thrive in meaningful structure. Work gave you that structure without you ever noticing it. A reason Tuesday felt different from Saturday, a reason to get dressed, a direction for your energy. Without it, motivation, connection, and a sense of meaning quietly begin to fade. 4. Everyone expected you to be happy, so you said nothing. This one matters because it adds guilt on top of loneliness. Everyone around you celebrated, the party, the card, the enjoy your freedom, and you smiled because that is what you were supposed to do. But inside, something felt wrong, and because the whole world was telling you to be happy, you kept quiet about it. Behavioral scientists found that people retiring today face a psychological challenge no previous generation encountered. They were told retirement was earned rest,
then arrived to find a silence that produced depression at rates researchers did not predict. And because nobody gave them permission to struggle, many suffered alone. You do not have to suffer alone. Not anymore. Not here. 5. Nobody warned you this part was coming. And this may be the most important reason of all. Nobody prepared you for this emotionally. Financial planning, pension advice, investment strategies, all of it focuses on the practical. None of it prepares you for waking up one morning and quietly asking yourself, who am I now? Common feelings associated with retirement include a sense of emptiness, a lack of direction, and a loss of self-esteem. Many retirees struggle with questions such as, who am I now, and what is my purpose? That question is not weakness. It is one of the most deeply human questions a person can ask. And the fact that you're asking it means you still care. You still want more from this life. You are not done.
Can I ask you something personal for a second? Where are you watching this right now? Are you in your own home? Maybe a house you've lived in for decades, where the rooms feel a little too quiet these days. Or maybe you moved into a smaller place after the kids left, and the walls feel closer than you expected. Perhaps you're in a senior living community, surrounded by people on paper, but somehow still feeling like a stranger at dinner. Or maybe you're somewhat in between, staying with family but feeling more alone than when you lived by yourself. Wherever you are, this next part is for you. Because one of the most common things I hear from people over 60 is this: I want connection. I just don't know where to start anymore. So here are 5 simple, honest steps to building real friendships in your 60s. Not a scientific formula, not a self-help checklist, just 5 things that actually work for real people in real life situations. Step 1. Start with where you already are. You don't need to join a club or sign up for something new to make your first connection. Look around you right now. Your building, your street, your church or place of worship, your doctor's waiting room, the park where you walk on Tuesday mornings. The people you see regularly but never really talk to, those are your starting point. A simple "how are you doing today" to the same neighbor 3 Tuesdays in a row becomes something. Not immediately, but it becomes something. Familiarity is the quiet foundation of every friendship you've ever had. Start where your feet already take you. Step 2. Say yes to the small things. Someone asks if you want to join them for a walk. Your gut says no. You're tired, it feels awkward, you don't know them well enough yet. Say yes anyway. Not to big commitments, not to anything that overwhelms you, but to the small, low-stakes invitations that feel almost too small to matter. A coffee, a short walk, sitting together at lunch instead of across the room. These moments feel insignificant going in, but they are the actual building blocks of real friendship. The yes that costs you almost nothing is often the one that changes everything. Step 3. Join something you already love.
You need to press the soil.
This one removes the hardest part of making friends, having nothing to say.
Just a little bit
When you're
more.
in a room because of something you genuinely enjoy, a book club, a gardening group, a gentle exercise class, a craft circle, the conversation starts itself. You already have something in common before you even know each other's names. You don't have to be outgoing. You don't have to be funny or interesting or on. You just have to show up to the thing you already love and let the rest happen naturally.
Firmly. Like this?
Step 4. Pick up the phone and actually call. We have convinced ourselves that a text message is the same as staying in touch. It isn't. A text says, "I remembered you existed." A phone call says, "I wanted to hear your voice today." Think of one person right now, someone you used to be closer to, someone you think about but never seem to actually contact. Call them this week, not to catch up on everything, just to say you were thinking of them. That call will matter more than you know, to them and to you. Step 5. Be the one who goes first. Here is the quiet truth about friendship after 60. Everyone is waiting for someone else to go
It was
first.
just so good to see him.
The neighbor who seems unfriendly is probably just shy. The person who never starts a conversation is probably afraid of being rejected. The woman who sits alone at every community dinner is likely desperate for someone to simply pull up a chair and say, "Mind if I join you?" Be that person. Not because you aren't nervous, you probably are, but because somebody has to go first. And when you do, you will almost always find that the other person was hoping someone would. The loneliness doesn't disappear overnight, but it starts to move the moment you take one small step towards someone else. And that step, you can take it today. So let's talk about what you can do, starting today. Here are 5 practical steps to beating the retirement plague. The last one will get you feeling 30 again. First, give yourself permission to grieve. You lost something real, a career, an identity, a daily community. Do not rush past that loss. Acknowledge it the same way you would any other grief. Second, build a new routine on purpose. It does not need to be rigid, but give your week some shape. A morning walk on Tuesdays, a phone call on Thursdays. Anchor points that make one day feel different from another. Third, find somewhere you are needed again. Spending time mentoring someone feeds you both. Volunteering gives you back what retirement quietly took, the feeling that you matter to someone today. Fourth, talk to someone, a therapist, a doctor, a trusted friend. Loneliness grows in silence. It shrinks the moment we name it out loud. And fifth, keep watching this channel, because every week we come back here and talk honestly about the things that are hardest to say out loud. I want you to hear this. Feeling lonely in retirement does not mean you failed. It does not mean the best years are behind you. It means you are human, and humans were never meant to do life alone. You found this channel for a reason today, and we are glad you're here. If this spoke to you, please subscribe. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it with them. You might be the reason they feel a little less alone today. We'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.